Before we get to this week's IU report, the first in a couple of weeks, I want to tell you about our plan going forward with Grant Shouse and the IU report. Every single week, we're going to say 45 weeks a year. At a minimum, we're going to have an IU report where we mostly talk men's basketball and football, but also some women's basketball. And as we're going to today, a little baseball and some other sports as well. But every single week, pretty much throughout the year, we will be talking IU sports. And whenever there's an IU football or men's basketball game, we will preview it, and then we will review it afterwards with a short recap, 10-minute or under, as I say, recap of the game with me, and then Grant's reaction to the, let's say, mostly victories, right?
Let's hope.
Let's hopeful, especially here in football season, we expect victories every single time, and that's the plan starting the first or second week of August. We'll get that figured out pretty soon. I'll let everybody know, but we're going to continue to do that through July as well. But we will have a set day and time where it comes out every single week with Grant. We're looking forward to doing this, Grant.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been fun so far. And
what you are listening to now is the Central Indiana Sports Report podcast number 327.1, the IU Report with Grant Shouse. We're going to talk a little IU baseball draft, Major League Baseball draft, and then we're going to talk about the IU basketball schedule. The non-conference schedule is pretty much set, everything but times, and we're going to get Grant's reaction and his prediction on what the Hoosiers are going to do in the non-conference.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Grant, today we are here to talk about the IU men's basketball schedule. The non-conference portion of the schedule is complete, and we're going to talk about it game by game. But first, we want to talk about a little baseball and our guy Devin Taylor, who we talked about all year, along with some other talented players for IU baseball. Wasn't as good a season as we'd hoped for the Hoosiers, but there definitely were some standouts. Devin Taylor was one. Give me the details.
he's the program's all-time leader in home runs, which we said it all year when we were talking about baseball, was that's saying something for a program that's had a guy named Kyle Schwarber that played in the program and is a great player in the major leagues now. Devin Taylor was taken with the 48th pick in the draft by the Oakland Athletics. They will always be the Oakland Athletics to me.
Just the A's now.
They're just the A's.
Just the A's.
Just the A's. They'll always be Oakland in my heart, though.
Right. Yep. They'll always be Philadelphia in mine, Grant.
That's, yeah. How old are you? Jeez, man, you got to be like 80.
That's going way back.
Like, that's going way back.
Connie Mack.
Yeah, I didn't even know who that is. So
One of the all-time great men.
I'm sure. But, yeah, he was taken by the A's now, and by the time he would get up into the majors, if he does, they'll have their new stadium, you would imagine. So that would be great.
I would think so. Yeah.
Good for him. This is a guy
He
that
might go quick, though.
I think he could.
When you go through college and you're a college All-American, the steps are a little faster as long as you're getting the hang of it.
I mean, look at a guy like Colson Montgomery, who's from Huntingburg, Indiana, who you may have covered at some point. You've covered everybody. He went to Southridge and was a great player. He just made his major league debut a week or two ago, and with the Chicago White Sox, and I think he was taken in 2019. And he was right out of high school. He didn't go to college, so it took him 6 years out of high school pretty much.
It's what it does.
Yeah. So it's going to take Devin Taylor some time to get up into the big leagues if he does. Some players get to Double-A. And
he's got the tools to do it.
Yeah, we expect him to be starting in the major leagues at some point, and would be cool to see him succeed, and I think he's going to. I think he's going to have a standout career.
We'll definitely keep an eye on Devin, and he'll definitely be part of the IU report going forward.
Hopefully.
Like guys like Kyle Schwarber, who, speaking of which, as we are recording, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is about to get underway, and Kyle Schwarber is, of course, a guy that we're going to keep an eye on. Even though he's playing for the Phillies, we still love him. although there could be exhibitions added, and we've gotten some news on that, Grant, and we'll talk about that in just a second.
Yep.
Practice gets underway sometime in October. There will be some kind of midnight madness or Hoosier hysteria, whatever the new coach decides it's going to be. And we won't know that for a little while. But we do know that the regular season starts November 5th. What do we know about exhibition game?
Indiana and Baylor are in a discussion on whether or not they want to play an exhibition game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. This would be a charity, I would assume, a charity exhibition game. This charity exhibition
thing that's been allowed by the NCAA.
And love them.
Yep.
They're really cool. They make for some good non-conference games and for a good cost.
And don't count. In the long run, you can kind of do with it what you want.
Exactly. Indiana beat the number 1 team in the country last year.
That's right.
In a charity exhibition. Unbelievable. They beat Tennessee, the number 1 team in the country, in a charity exhibition game on the road at Tennessee, which was pretty neat. But they're in discussions with Baylor on whether or not they want to play one of those charity exhibitions at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Word on that has not been official yet. It was just in talks. But if it's in talks, you would almost assume that it's likely going to happen. But those used to be closed scrimmages. They were called secret scrimmages, and they've kind of done away with the secret scrimmages and have turned those into the charity exhibition games. Good idea. And it's a great idea. But the
secret scrimmage was dumb.
Well, I disagree. I think it's pretty cool.
I thought it was dumb. And then somebody would leak what happened, and then people would just speculate, and it was just dumb. Just let us see the games.
I get it.
Let us see the game. It's 2025 for the. Let us see the
game. And
game.
TV networks can buy it and sell it, and
all kinds of good things you can do with it, and it doesn't count, and that's I like that.
It's the most important thing, I think.
It used to be that they would play Division II or Division III. Any of that planned that you know of?
Not that I've heard. Indiana has, in the last few years, when Mike Woodson was the coach, because of his relationship with Steve Downing, the AD at Marion, they were playing Marion for a few years in an exhibition. And then Pat Knight, of course, was hired to be the coach at Marion, and they did that last year against Mike Woodson, which makes sense. A former player of Pat's dad.
I say let's keep it up.
I hope they do. I really do. It's a really cool thing.
If you're listening, IU, let's get Marion on the exhibition schedule.
You would hope they would do that, and I think it's cool for, someone like Pat who has literally never not been attached to Indiana basketball, whether he was a part of the program or not. He's always been attached to the brand,
his whole life,
the school, the name. He was literally born into it. So it's a cool thing, and I saw him about a month ago, and I, for some reason, neglected to ask him if that was going to be happening. So I haven't heard, but hopefully they get someone like Marion on the schedule. But funny story about one of those is that Indiana one year played Indiana Wesleyan, which, I know the Tonagals, the coach at IU really well.
Would love that too.
And his son.
There are a lot of good options.
They played Indiana one year when Indiana had Oladipo, Zeller, Watford, all those guys. And Indiana Wesleyan got off to a 10-0 lead. They were up 10-0, and Crean called a timeout, and after that timeout, they flipped the script, and they ended up blowing them out. But it'd be cool for them to scrimmage Marion or IU or someone like that, so we'll just have to see.
What we do know is that the regular season kicks off Wednesday, November 5th. I believe the 3rd is the first day that games can be scheduled. Most of the Big Ten gets started on the 4th. IU gets started on the 5th at home against Alabama A&M. What do we know about? I believe they're the Hornets. What do we know about them and what they have coming back, what they did last year?
Alabama A&M comes to town. They were a bad SWAC team last year.
The worst conference in the country.
Yeah, they went 10-22, and should be a good confidence booster for Indiana to win on opening night. That's all. I mean, I hate to say that's all you can really say about them.
Absolutely. We probably expect that one to be like a 7 or 8 o'clock. Probably a Big Ten Network game or even a BTN play.
Oh, I hope not. Man, I hope not.
By the way, we only know the television for one of these games, and we'll let you know when we get there. Game 2 is a whole different story, Grant. Marquette comes to Chicago to meet the Hoosiers. at a kind of halfway point there. That weekend, Sunday, November 9th, we do not have a time yet. Tell us what you know.
That'll be a good first test for Indiana under a new coach. Looking forward to that. They were 23-11, fourth in the Big East last year. Marquette, 7th seed that lost in the first round. Lost guys like Cam Jones, who's now an Indiana Pacer, to the draft. But they got some good guys coming back. Nigel James and Michael Phillips II, Demarius Owens will also be a top player. A lot of NBA potential there. It'll be a good first test for Indiana against Marquette. And that game's going to be played at the United Center on Sunday, November the 9th. So
expect a packed house.
It doesn't help that they're playing a team like Alabama A&M the first game that you know you're going to blow them out.
Unless you want the confidence booster, which is a good idea. I'd rather do that than play a mid-major and lose.
Yep.
By the way, if you schedule Indiana Wesleyan or Grace, be careful this year because they're going to be really good. Another team from the state of Wisconsin, the following Wednesday, November 12th, is Milwaukee. The second game at Assembly Hall. What do you know about Milwaukee?
They're always good in their conference in the Horizon League. They were 21-11 last year, kind of disappointing, 14-6 in their conference play. Lost in the conference tournament. Lost in the conference tournament to Oakland.
That's right.
One of my favorite teams in the country, Oakland.
That's right. We're going to start doing the Oakland report pretty soon.
That'd be awesome, man. I could contact a couple guys to get them on here. John Lovelace is a guy to look out for them. And another guy I remember well in that Horizon League tournament, Faison Fields. They could be a tournament team, this Milwaukee team, and that's not a sleeper team, man. That's going to be a good mid-major test for Indiana at home. It's obviously going to be a very winnable game where Indiana will be favored, but wouldn't sleep on that Milwaukee team. They're pretty darn good.
Then the next Sunday, so it goes Wednesday, Sunday. Incarnate Word is at home. That could be any time from noon to 8 o'clock.
Who knows?
And a couple of years ago, it seemed like Incarnate Word was a program that was on the rise, and the last couple of years haven't been quite as good.
Yeah, they lost their top 3 players last year, and they've been competitive in that Southland Conference.
Yeah, since moving there.
Yeah, but just haven't really been able to get over the hump, and I think that's probably going to be another easy win for Indiana.
And then Thursday, November 20th is Lindenwood, and Lindenwood is a program on the rise, Grant.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to play a mid-major team like that at home as an Indiana, you're going to be favored. You can't take opponents lightly. I don't know if that'll be one that they could get a hiccup because they're going to be getting ready to play a Power 5 team. It'll be in kind of a weird time of the year.
A team with a lot of kids back from last year's team when IU has none. You know, that's kind of any team that has that advantage, especially early in the season, is going to be a team to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. And that falls right in the middle of kind of the start of Feast Week, which is the week of – I really consider Feast Week starting a week before Thanksgiving for college basketball. And for people who don't know what that is, that's basically when college basketball takes over.
Basketball all the time.
Yeah. Sun up to sundown.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Around-the-clock basketball.
If you have ESPN Plus, you could watch it the rest of your life.
Literally, and I've done it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I wouldn't say it rivals because it's not better than the month of March, but
it's cool.
It certainly competes.
It answers a lot of questions that you have early on in the season. It kind of shakes things out.
That's why they do it.
Especially those tournaments. Those used to be a lot better when there were about 8 of them and you could kind of watch all of them. Now that there's 115 of them, it's a little harder. But still, a lot of good matchups early in the season and a lot of good players. One thing I like to do is look at NBA mock drafts and kind of look at it from an NBA perspective. So get a lot of games in a short amount of time. My Thanksgiving, most people's filled with football. Mine's filled with a lot of college basketball.
I agree 100%, man. And the people that like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to put the Lions on Thanksgiving. I'm like, why are we not putting the battle for it? Yeah, why are we not watching the battle for Atlantis? You know, why are we not watching Providence play Oklahoma while I eat a bunch of turkey, you know? So I think that that's going to be an interesting test for Indiana. And this next game, Going to be a good test going into the next big non-conference game, which will be a home game against Kansas State on Tuesday, November 25th, which will be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. They have a new transfer in P.J. Haggerty that came in, who's going to be their point guard. They have a really good coach in Jerome Tang. That's going to be a team to look out for. It'll be a good game at home for IU.
Similar to IU. And then almost complete roster overhaul.
Yeah, so I'm really glad they scheduled a non-conference team like that, especially with it being at home, and really looking forward to that game.
Next year when there are more questions answered, hopefully there'll be a couple more of those on the schedule.
Be a couple more Kansas State caliber teams.
Right. You understand that there are a lot of Alabama A&Ms and Milwaukee's and Incarnate Words this year. Let's not do that too much in the next few years, although we've got some good ones coming up here.
Yep, Bethune-Cookman is next. They're the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which is typically Old Oak and Bucket Saturday, but with the Old Oak and Bucket being played on Friday this year, which would be really cool to go to.
And talk about teams on the rise here. Bethune-Cookman's always been one of the worst programs in the country. Now they have Reggie Theus as their head coach, a former NBA head coach, a former NBA player and teammate of my uncle, John. I remember him from when I was 4 years old at Market Square Arena and going and hanging out with the team. Artist Gilmore lifted me up and letting me dunk when I was 4 years old.
Was that cool?
Market Square. Oh, awesome. Reggie Theus was part of that and probably the best-looking man in all of in the NBA at the time, according to the ladies. And he's now at Bethune-Cookman, and that program is on the way up still. If you don't win this game, something's wrong.
It'll be as my buddy John Rothstein says, it'll be the epitome of brutality.
Right.
So
not as bad as losing to Alabama A&M, but it would be right up.
Or Incarnate Word.
Yes. Well, even that.
Or Chicago State later on. So,
that level.
Yeah.
But one day, Reggie Theus will have them competitive. He'll have them in the NCAA tournament, maybe even this year, but it'll be as a 16 seed or something like that. So IU should win that game. All right, and then the one game that we have lots of information on, Grant.
Saturday, December 6th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indiana will be taking on the Louisville Cardinals, which is a rivalry that, like this one and the next one we're going to talk about with another team in Kentucky, spoiler alert, the Kentucky Wildcats, should be on the schedule every single
year.
Yep. This game will be at 2 o'clock. It is the CareSource Invitational supporting mental health. That game will be on CBS, so expect some of the top broadcasters and analysis in the game for that game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and be a good test for Indiana. We've said that in a lot of these games so far, but this one in Kentucky is by far the two biggest non-conference games in a long time for this Indiana program.
And talent-wise, this is going to be one of the best rosters in the country.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea. It's a brand-new roster again, like a lot of teams, so we have no idea how it's going to gel and shake out. But talent-wise, Louisville's going to be almost as good as anybody in the country.
Well, it's going to be a fun game to watch, and I'm really excited for that game. I think Indiana's got a good shot going in if they can get off to a good start in their non-conference schedule with winning games, of course, and blowing teams out. So we'll just have to see where they stand on that, but I think that's a really winnable game for Indiana going into Kentucky the next week.
Let me tell you, if IU beats Louisville, it's a really good sign for Coach DeVries.
Yeah.
I would say right now I'd be shocked if IU beat Louisville.
Yeah. We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see.
But
it's possible. If everything went right for IU, there's no doubt they can be that level of a team. It's really hard to bring a team from a bunch of different programs and shake it all together and come out really successful by December 6th.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. All right, and then a big road game, big true road game.
Saturday, December the 13th, Indiana will be taking on Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Kentucky, of course, went to the NCAA tournament last year. What do you got to say? It's Kentucky. We all know how good they are. We know how good they can be. Is this one of the only times you'll be rooting for Indiana?
I root for Indiana all the time.
All the time?
If it's against a school outside of Indiana, I'm for Indiana.
Okay. I really hope Indiana can just go down there and throttle them this year. I don't think they will, but man, I hope they do. And it would be such a sight for them to go in there and kick their ass. Like,
of course.
I wouldn't say I hate. I respect in some manner John Calipari when he left and took the Arkansas job, and all those Kentucky people who wanted him out. They wanted him gone, and then he took the Arkansas job, and they were like, well, why would he take the Arkansas job? It's like, why does it matter to you? You wanted him gone. So when he took that Arkansas team into Rupp last year and won at Rupp, I was one of the biggest John Calipari fans on the planet. So, but I hate Kentucky. I'll never forget
what it
year,
does to me is drag Arkansas into Kentucky's realm.
I guess.
To me.
I'll never forget when I was a kid. This was around the time, probably would have been a year or so after, that Watford hit the shot for Indiana to beat Kentucky. And I'll never forget, my dad for Christmas got his dad, my grandpa, an IU cutting board. Like you cut food on.
Yeah.
They still have, I think they still have it. I don't know. He got it for him. And he told me, and I'll never forget being a little kid, he goes, Grant, you know what I'm going to do every time I'm cutting like carrots on here or cutting something, I'm just going to go, Kentucky, 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 Kentucky. Never forget. So
nice.
That's we hate Kentucky. Man, I might hate Kentucky more than Purdue. I've got a buddy who is from Lexington who's a big Kentucky fan, and he started a little podcast last year, and he had me on to talk about Kentucky. And when he proposed the idea to me, we did it over Zoom, and it was really fun, actually. But when he proposed the idea to me, I'm like, who's this guy think he's getting on here? Like, I'm going to come on here and crap on Kentucky.
Exactly.
Why'd you have me on your Kentucky podcast? So he's a good dude. We're actually going to link up, and I think it's going to be 2027 when Indiana plays Kentucky. Well, no, it'd be 2026 when Indiana plays Kentucky at Lucas Oil Stadium, and we're going to go to the game and talk a bunch of crap to each other. And
nice. As much as I hate to say it, and I'll never admit this again, Grant, some Kentucky fans are okay as human beings.
Some of them.
Yeah.
This guy I'm friends with is.
Yeah, not very many. Daniel Sudduth is a good guy, my former boss at the News and Tribune. Good guy.
Yeah. Loves Kentucky.
Loves Kentucky.
Shout out, the guy I'm talking about, shout out Alex Holder. I'm going to send this to him, and shout out Alex Holder. I met him, he was doing...
Not all Kentucky fans are awful.
I met him, he was doing play-by-play for 96.9 The Wire in Evansville. He's doing a Castle Knights basketball game. And I met him. He's a big Kentucky fan. I told him, I was like, I'm a big IU fan. He goes, oh, we got a lot to talk
Castle
about.
Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Hemingway.
Yep. Went to Clemson. Jack Nungy.
That's right.
Went to Xavier.
And Iowa.
Yes.
So if you could win one non-conference game, hands down, it's Kentucky, right?
Absolutely. And
especially there.
It might be worth losing all the other non-conference
That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask next, would you take a 1 and?
I don't know. That's pretty embarrassing just to beat Kentucky.
Speaking of which, Chicago State is next, maybe the worst team in the entire country last year.
Funny story about Chicago State. I was told you I was going on a work trip. We went up to Green Bay and all there. And we had to go through Chicago, and we went right by Chicago State University on our way. That was pretty cool. And
yeah.
But
I'm sure it's a cool place, but their basketball team is
suck. I mean.
By the way, that's Saturday, December 20th. So, again, that could be any time of the day.
Probably noon.
Yeah.
BTN. Probably Big Ten Plus.
Probably Big Ten Plus for that one. Then the non-conference schedule concludes Monday, December 22nd, at home against Siena, a program that has been very, very good at times, Grant, but not so right now, although they did add a former Iowa player, 6'11", Riley Mulvey. So who knows what to expect from them, but that's another one you would expect to be a win.
I think it's a decent little non-conference schedule for a first-year coach.
I like it.
Coming into the Big Ten. It's got a lot of bye games on there, which is you're paying these teams to come and play you. But I think 4 big-name non-conference opponents is enough for a first year, especially when you have at least 3 of them
At
carrying
least
the
3 of them are
weight.
going to be good, right?
At least 3 of them carrying the weight that Marquette, Louisville, and Kentucky carry.
All right, Grant. As an outsider, I would predict that IU will be 7-4. What's your prediction?
I'd say anywhere between 8-3 and 9-2.
Whoa.
I think they're going to win their bye games. I think they're going to win all their bye games. I think they can sneak 2 out against Marquette and Kansas State, but it'll be hard to beat Louisville. I don't think it'll be as hard to beat Louisville as it'll be to beat Kentucky at Rupp Arena. Just because you're playing them in Indianapolis at a neutral site, it's going to be basically a home game for you. You have a lot of home crowd fans behind you.
I'd be stunned if they beat Marquette the second game of the season, Grant.
I might. That's why I say 8-3, because I think Marquette's probably going to be one that could get them. 7-4, I'd take it. I don't think they'll lose to Kansas State at home. You're juiced up. I think that's a game you're going to be really juiced up for because it's at home.
And unless things go horribly, the only other possible losses would come at home, and that would be Milwaukee or Lindenwood. Those were the only 2 that would be even right.
And
Lindenwood,
I have a hard time seeing that.
Lindenwood, of course, is a Division II program that's on the rise to Division I, but they are a great program that has a lot coming back and a really good recruiting class for their conference.
Yeah. So I'll take 7-4. I'll take 8-3. I'll take 9-2, 10-1, and 11-0. I'm more concerned about winning those bye games. Like, I think as a fan and as your IU guy, I can take losing to your 4 Power 4 schools, Power 5 schools, I guess. But don't lose to an Alabama A&M. Don't lose to an Incarnate Word or a Chicago State or a Siena. You can't lose to those teams. If you beat them, awesome. And if you can beat those 4 Power 4 schools, Marquette, Kansas State, Louisville, and Kentucky, you're set. So we'll see. But I don't see 11-0, but I don't necessarily see 0-11. I definitely don't see 0-11 at all. So,
well, if Coach DeVries comes in and is as good as Coach Signetti was from the jump with that program, maybe they are 10-1.
Let's hope, man.
It could.
They could.
I think the talent's there if they put it all together right. It's possible.
Yeah.
I like the Bison.
It's pretty cool.
Tell us the latest.
It finally got we knew that the Bison's going to be there, but it finally got its official makeover. It's going to look like. If at all possible, you should use the background for this episode as that Bison. You can find it online. So people, when they're listening to it, they can see it. It's hard. It's really hard to describe what it looks like. You know what I mean? It's a cartoon buffalo.
I like it.
Acts like a human. I mean, that's all I can really explain. And it's a little generic. It's a little cheesy, but it's supposed to be.
I think it's one of a kind. I like it.
It is. So, but it's.
I'm a fan of mascots. I always have been. Ever since Polly Panther, when I was a kid at Elwood, I've always been a fan of mascots. Boomer came of age when I was in middle school. Mm-hmm. Always been a fan of mascots.
And I'm sure people are wondering, why a bison? Well, here's why. Indiana State Seal has a bison on it, and in what is known as Bloomington now, back hundreds of years ago, bison used to roam through that area. That was where bison lived in Indiana, was in what is now Bloomington.
All right, let's talk about the TBT.
Yes. It's a for people who don't know what the TBT is, it's kind of an up-and-coming thing. I think it's a great filler when sports are kind of at a lull in the month of July. You
love basketball.
If you love basketball, and like the people in Indiana do. The last few years there have been, Indiana just added a team, which these TBT teams, a lot of them consist of alumni from a school. Indiana, you're going to hear with their team, which I love the name, Assembly Ball.
It's a good one.
You're going to hear names that you probably never heard before because they didn't play at Indiana. But in Indiana, there's teams, the Butler team, which is called All Good Dogs, the Valparaiso team. I can't believe Valparaiso has a team. But theirs isn't necessarily alumni. Theirs is more guys who want to play professionally. This is professional basketball. Right. This is not college basketball.
Right.
This is professional basketball. But if you're an IU fan, this is something to keep an eye out on.
So it's 5-on-5, and tell us about the format.
Yeah, so it's single elimination, hence the name of the tournament.
How many teams?
I believe there's 64. somewhere in there. There's regions that consist
Google it, people.
Google it. There's the Indianapolis region. There's the James Madison region. They're going to be hosting a slew of games. There's the Kentucky region and the Louisville region, which it was cool last year because the Kentucky team and the Louisville team played each other in kind of their quadrants championship. And they played in the championship, and it was like a sold-out crowd.
Wow.
They played at Freedom Hall, and there was a fight after the game. They all got into a big
Doesn't
fight.
surprise me.
Yeah. So that was really cool.
For those who don't know, I've been at the Jeffersonville, New Albany newspaper the last few years. And where I would say it was 33% IU fans, 33% Louisville fans, about 30% Kentucky fans, and about 5% Purdue and other.
It's cool if you love basketball. Look it up. Look up tbthoops.com. And when you run this first thing Wednesday morning, I hope people go and do that and get tickets. The Indianapolis region is being played at Hinkle Fieldhouse, which will be really cool. The Assembly ball team will be playing. They'll be playing on Saturday, July 19th at 4 o'clock. That game will actually be televised nationally on Fox Sports 1, so you can stay home and watch it. A lot of these teams are teams that are putting together for charity and all that kind of stuff. It's almost a charity. It's kind of a charity thing.
I like the idea.
It's a really cool idea, and it's grown. Last year, the team that won it was a team called Carmen's Crew, which is the Ohio State alumni team, which had guys led by a guy by the name of Jared Sullinger, who was a solid
former
player.
Celtic,
Yep,
and
played in the
All-American.
NBA. So here's what the Assembly ball team will consist of. And a lot of these guys are who I grew up watching. So this really hits close to home for me because it's the guys that made me fall in love with it.
Let's see who stayed in shape, Grant.
Al Durham, who played at Indiana, then went on to Providence, transferred to Providence. Christian Watford is technically a player, but he is more of the GM, kind of a coach role.
One of our heroes for beating Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. He will be a part of this. James Blackman Jr., a Marion kid, just like me, will be.
I watched his dad when I was a kid.
I know his dad.
I'm old.
James Blackman Jr., he is a 6'4" shooting guard who played at Indiana. He's a decent player at Indiana. Bounced around in the D League, G League, as it was transforming at that time. They will also have a guy by the name of Jerron Cumberland, who is a 6'5" shooting guard who plays for the Delaware Bluecoats in the G League. He went to the University of Cincinnati. Jordan Halls will also be a part of this team, but he will be a part of the team, and last year at least he was, in kind of the coach-player role. He last played for MHP Ludwigsburg in Germany. And then he spent time on the Indiana coaching staff with Mike Woodson. He will be a part of this.
Covered him in high school as well.
Jordan King is another. He's a 6-foot point guard from Richmond University. Julian Gamble is another who's a 6'9" center from the University of Miami. He was on the team last year. He was their starting center. A lot of these guys, I'm telling you, you're not going to have heard of.
Sure.
But it's for the guys like James Blackman Jr. and some of these other guys like Christian Watford and Jordan Halls, it's more for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, and you can get autographs from, I mean, you don't want to be bugging them during games and stuff, but you can get autographs from them before, after, take pictures, all this kind of stuff. It's really a neat thing. It's set up for the fans. It's not for these players trying to make money or still trying to play professionally.
Nice that they're making a little, though.
It's for the fans. Jawan Morgan is another that will be coming back. He
was there when I covered him for the year I was there.
Yep, he had a stint in the NBA with the Utah Jazz for a minute.
Yep.
He's a 6'8" power forward.
He was drafted, correct?
Yep. They have another guy by the name of Luke Fisher, who is 6'11", started his career at Indiana and then transferred to Marquette. He did the reverse Tom Crean. He went from Indiana to Marquette instead of Marquette to Indiana. But he is another one that will be on the team. Miller Kopp, who is a recent guy, will be playing as well. This is the guy, I'm telling you, when he checks into the game, everyone's going to give him a big round of applause. That's how it was last year. He checked in, everybody, like that place roared. He is a 6'7" small forward who is playing for the Oklahoma City Blue in the G League. He went to Northwestern and to Indiana. Another guy, QJ Peterson, a 6-foot point guard from Virginia Military Institution. Race Thompson, a former Indiana Hoosier, will also be on the squad as well. He is a 6'8 power forward who is playing for the Memphis Hustle in the G League. He went to Indiana University. And then these guys right here are two guys that I know you've heard of, and a lot of fans will remember them. Troy Williams, 6'7" small forward who went to Indiana. He was on the team last year but didn't necessarily play a whole lot. I think he was battling an injury, but he was a part of this team last summer. And then the last guy, everybody's going to be there to see. He took over in a game last year, and a guy who I think, if given the right opportunity, could still play in the league. You know who it is? Yogi Ferrell. Yogi Ferrell, 5'11" point guard from Indiana. He will be there. He will be he'll be the fan favorite. You know, he's why people are going to go, and people loved this guy last year. He was the most popular player at this particular regional site. It's going to be really fun. I hope they can. I believe they're the 2 seed in all of this, and Carmen's crew, the Ohio State team, is the 1 seed. So it'd be nice if Indiana can get to the championship, which would be a week from Tuesday, so a week from tonight.
Is Mark Titus on the Ohio State team?
I think he was at one time. I think he was.
I think that's why I know of the tournament.
Probably.
I love Mark Titus.
Yeah.
Been a fan since he played at Ohio State.
Played is generous.
1 minute.
He was on the team.
He would play 1 minute when they had big leads. Hence the Club Trillion.
The TBT does a really good job at making this about the fans, and whoever wins the tournament gets $1 million, and the guys will split it however they want. The coolest thing about it is that I don't know what winner of what regional they would play, but between those 2 regionals, whichever site, so like if let's say they're playing the Kentucky regional in the next round, whoever sold the most tickets between Hinkle and the Kentucky regional, whoever sold the most tickets is where that game will be played.
Wow, that's a good idea.
So you really don't know where it's going to be. So you got to That's why they want people to come to it, buy the tickets. Hey, if your team wins, you'll get to watch them again here. So
great idea.
It's going to be really cool. There's, guys that come out to it. Trace Jackson Davis came to it last year. Everybody, was all up in arms about it. You're going to see guys that you can go down and take pictures with. They'll sign autographs for you and your kids. It's such a cool thing, man, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's become kind of a staple. Me and my dad went to it a few years ago when it was at UD Arena in Dayton, and we saw the Dayton team play. You like that place, don't you? I love that place. Absolutely. That was the first time I'd ever been there. Oh, yeah? I love that place. I told my dad, I was like, I have to come to the NCAA tournament here. So ever since then, I've gone to it there. But I love
Remind us of the dates again.
It will start. It actually starts this Friday. Some of the sites are Friday, but the particular one at Hinkle will start Saturday, July 19th. The Butler team will be playing the Valparaiso team at 2 o'clock. That game will be at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Bryce Drew suiting up.
Huh?
Bryce Drew suiting up.
You wish, man. Greg Tonagle's suiting up. He went to Valpo. Nice. But I'm just kidding. But wouldn't that be cool?
Yes, it would.
That game will be taking place at 2 o'clock on Saturday, July 19th, and will be streamed. I know, I'm not a big fan of this, but it's just how it's going to be for the first part of it. Will be streamed on YouTube.
Very cool. I love YouTube.
But the Assembly Ball game, the IU team, will be on Fox Sports 1. So just check. Look it up. tbthoops.com. Find all your information about it. If you don't know about it, I think a lot of people kind of know about it. It's becoming a mainstay. I wouldn't say a mainstay, but I hope they don't go away from it.
More attention. It's a great idea. I love it.
I think it's a great kind of thing to give sports fans in the summer.
Yeah.
To go if you're a local person.
Maybe it'll catch on with baseball, and it'll catch on with other sports.
I hope so.
That'd be a really cool thing.
It's going to be really fun.
Thanks so much to Grant for joining us again and talking some IU sports. And to you for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow all that junk, and help us grow and thrive and continue to produce great podcasts like this one. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.